everyone, my name is Chai Junxian. So today our groups will going to present the process of structural design. So when we talk about structural design, it's actually the process of being a architectural drawing and become a real structure. So when we talk about the structure in the wall, such as the Taipei 101 or the Pretona Street Tower, it all start from the sketch of the architectural drawings. So structural design is the work based on the architect drawing, which they study and also design the building, which how the building looks like, so that according to the architect drawing. And so there are 5 stages of the structural design. The first one is a conceptual design. The second one is determining the internal force of each element. The third one is iterative design. The fourth one is the foundation design, and the fifth one is the drafting. So stage 1 is the conceptual design. At the early stage of the conceptual design, this is the stage of the generating various spatial concepts by the structural engineer, which they brainstorm their ideas to aim to serve for the solution using available resources, so that they can build safe, functionable, and economical buildings according to the um, client's needs. So the conceptual design is also actually the study of the load transfer in the building, where the applied load is studied from when the load is transferred from the slab to the columns to the beams, so that the structure is stable and can and durable. So the next steps will be presented by my friends.
Thank you, Junxian. The second step in the process is determining the internal forces of each element. Next, the internal forces include normal force, shear force, and bending moment. During this process, analysis model is first created for the building. Next, an analysis software such as SAP 2000, as you can see on the slide, is used for the structural analysis model. All the loads act on the structure must be defined in the model. The loads consideration are depending on the types of occupancy of the project. Next, there are 3 different loads, that is dead loads, live loads, and wind loads. Let's ignore earthquake loads for a while. Dead loads are composed of the weight of the structure, and the superimposed dead loads that comprises of the floor finishes and the weight of the partitions. Next is the live load. The live load consists of movable loads that the structure may carry. And depending on the height of the building, wind load is considered. Lastly, for earthquake loads are additionally considered based on the geographical factors of the project. Next, from the model, the internal forces of each element is calculated. The calculation procedures are based on the design codes and standards. Various methods are used, such as methods of joints and methods of sections. Next, the third phase is iterative design. Iterative design is fundamental for the design process and inevitable for the process of structural design. Next, this phase is cyclic and repetitive and also evolutionary. Based on initial sizing, the information of straining actions on the element has been obtained, and the design process is eased by using a spreadsheet or software. And next, the analysis model is modified to new dimensions after obtaining from the previous design. Next, this analysis is then repeated. The repeated analysis, new internal forces are obtained, thus the design is revised again based on new forces. The iterative process is repeated until the element design is the same in 2 following iterations. Next, the process will be presented by Kamlun.
Okay, well, thanks, Ang. I'm Kamlun. Now we'll continue the presentation for the 4th stage of the process of structural design, which is the foundation design. Mainly, I'll be talking about how the engineers will design the foundation. First of all, they will take into the considerations of the factors that will affect the foundation depth. There are 4 factors, as you can see on the slide, which is soil bearing capacity, soil type, frost depth, and groundwater level. After that, they will have a meeting among their team to discuss what of the type of materials and types of foundation they are going to be used on the construction. Basically, there are two types of foundation. First one is the shallow foundation. It is normally used for the normal residential building, and the second foundation is deep foundation, which is used for the high buildings or the skyscrapers. Next, here we have the examples of shallow foundation on the slides. You can see the examples of deep foundation. And next, we continue the discussion for the fifth and the final stage, which is the drafting phase. Okay, in this stage, the sketch will be handed over to the structural engineers for the final interpretation. Next, the plans should be fully detailed so that the construction on the site can be done smoothly without any delays. Last but not least, a final review by the structural engineers will be done before the submission to the authorities for the building permit approval. Okay, that's all from us about the process of structural design. Thanks.